Hi, and thank you for joining us once again for this weekly Parashat portion. This week's Parasha is Parashat Hukat. In Parashat Hukat, we talk about the mitzvah of Para Aduma, the red heifer. When somebody is impure, they're supposed to take the ashes of a red cow, very rare to find, and they burn the ashes up, they mix it with some water and hyssop and a little potion, and the Kohen sprinkles it on the person and they become pure and the Kohen becomes impure. It's a whole process, and this process is called a chok, hence the name Hukat. Chok is a law that we don't understand. We just have to accept the law as it is without the reason. And this is how we really show our love for the Torah, that we even do the things that we don't understand. Shlomo HaMelech said on Para Aduma, he said, I don't even understand this. I understand so much of the Torah, but I don't understand this law. Now that's a big statement. Shlomo HaMelech was the wisest of all men. He was able to talk to animals. He knew everything. But yet he didn't understand Para Aduma. It's not just some Am Haaretz saying, I don't understand Para Aduma. It's like a great nuclear scientist saying, I don't understand Einstein's theory. That's something. If I say I don't understand Einstein's theory, no big deal. But if he says it and he knows everything, so that shows you how deep of a concept this Para Aduma is. So too, Shlomo HaMelech said that I really don't understand this. Now, when we look at Unklus's words on the translation for the first pasuk, Zot Hukat HaTorah, this is the chok of the Torah. He says, Da gezerat oraita. This is the gezerah of the Torah. Now, question. A gezerah is a decree. Whenever we use the word gezerah, we mean a harsh decree. Right? For example, Moshe had a gezerah that he couldn't go into Eretz Israel. That's a harsh thing for Moshe Rabbeinu. Right? Whenever we use the word gezerah, it's talking about a harsh thing. What in the world is harsh about Para Aduma? If anything, I would say Para Aduma is a good thing because it helps purify people. So why is Unklus translating it to mean a gezerah, a harsh decree? Para Aduma is a harsh item. What's going on here? So the Khatam Sofer explains like this. He says that Moshe Rabbeinu was able to learn the whole Torah. Even Para Aduma, he knew the reason. And he knew everything about it, all the details. But Hashem said, this is a chok. You're not allowed to teach it over to the other people. He says you have to keep it for yourself. And for this, Moshe Rabbeinu was very, very pained. He says, Torah is my life. Torah is everything. I am the rabbi of the people. I teach the people all day long, all day and all night. He says, you're going to tell me that I could know something and I'm not allowed to share it? It was so painful to Moshe Rabbeinu that he said that I'd rather not know it than be able to know it and not share it. He says, that's painful to me. Explanation to this is something that is very, very dear to a person and they get excited about it. They just want to share it. They want to share the knowledge. I was with a boy this morning and he was talking about the draft last night and he didn't stop talking about the draft and the other boy didn't watch it and he couldn't keep it in. I told him, look, see, just like that. You just want to talk. Imagine that you can't tell a soul about the draft. We let you watch the draft and you can't tell a soul. He's like, I would go crazy. I need to talk about the draft, right? My sister-in-law got engaged last year and she got a nice diamond ring. And she goes to my 2-year-old son, look at my ring, look at my ring. What does he know from a ring? He doesn't know anything. It's a little piece of jewelry. It doesn't matter if it's fake, if it's real or not. He's a 2-year-old kid. But when a person is excited about something, they really want to just share it with the world. They just need to share it. That's how Moshe Rabbeinu was about Torah. He didn't talk about stocks and politics and sports. That's not what excited him. What excited him was Torah, and therefore he felt such a need to share it that it was a gezerah on him. It was painful to him that he wasn't able to share the Torah. The Rav Pam, he brings this down to Friday night in particular. He says that Friday nights, we know that if you don't talk about Divrei Torah, Friday night table becomes the Lashon Hara table. All the goods from the whole week could come out on the Friday night table. He says we have to be careful. We have to want to share our Torah. We have to make it important to us and dear to us that we want to talk about it. And we should try very hard to prepare the delicacies of the Torah for our Friday night table in order to share it with the others. We could stop so much Lashon Hara and so much bad talk, so much mahloket. If we bring the Divrei Torah to the table, he says that the women, they prepare, they go shopping and they cook and clean and everything. They do so much just for that one Friday night meal that's going to be scarfed down in 20 minutes. They prepare for hours. He says the obligation on us, every one of us, is to prepare our delicacies, to prepare our Divrei Torah for the Friday night table. If we don't prepare the Torah, we're not going to be able to come into the Friday night table with Torah. It's going to be no food. Just like if the woman wouldn't cook for the Friday night meal, there will be no food to eat. So too the Divrei Torah. If you don't prepare it before, how are you supposed to learn? How are you supposed to teach and share the Divrei Torah? Obligation on every one of us is always to try and reach out for Shabbat. Especially we should focus on, because let's be practical. We should have the conversation of all of our conversations to be in Torah, but we have to be practical. Let's start with one point that could take us so far and elevate the Shabbat meal and the Shabbat table. It's such a holy night, and we should really, really work on sharing the Divrei Torah and preparing the Divrei Torah in order to share. Yehi Ratzon that Hashem gives us a lot of beracha. Shabbat is the Mekor HaBeracha, and it will be the source of all our blessing if we keep Shabbat properly and share our Divrei Torah at the table. Shabbat Shalom.